أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My distinguished brothers and sisters in Islam, this is the second series of the books of Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. Today we shall be taking the summary of the great book written by Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo titled Hidayatu Tullab. After we have discussed Umdatul Ubad by Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo. In this book we are taking today Hidayatu Tullab. The book will guide everybody, a student, a scholar, a teacher, and anybody who is a Muslim, inshallah, to the right path of Islam, inshallah ta'ala. The book is summarized by Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo himself into 10 items, and that makes it easy for us, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to also summarize it in 10 points. The point number 1, Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo is telling us that anything that comes from the Quran and from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is authentic, is never called a madhhab of anybody. Is never called a school of thought of anybody. Anything that is from the Quran or authentic hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not a mazhab of anybody. Everybody should take note of this. A scholar, a student, or a Muslim, or anybody you may be, take note of this. A verse of the Quran, authentic hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not a mazhab of anybody. So any person who calls a verse of Quran or who uses authentic ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ in the view of the scholars that have existed before us, that shouldn't be termed as mazhab. That is the first thing Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo told us. Number 2, we should also know, according to Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or neither Allah the Almighty nor the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mandated any Muslim to follow a specific madhab. No, Allah didn't say in the Quran, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say it in any authentic hadith that you follow a specific madhab, whether the mazhab of Imam Malik or mazhab of Imam Abu Hanifa or mazhab of Imam Shafi or mazhab of Imam Ahmad or Zahiriya or any mazhab among mazahib. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messenger didn't specify that we should follow a specific mazhab. We should know that. Then number 3, Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo is saying that but since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the messenger did not specify for us to follow a specific mazhab, is it good for a layman to follow a specific mazhab because he is not learned like the scholars who will navigate around all the mazahib or even around the authentic ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the verses of the Quran? Is it allowed for a layman, an ignorant person who is not learned, to follow a specific mazhab? He said that scholars differ on this. Some said yes, some said no. Some said he can follow a specific mazhab and he should attach himself to that particular mazhab. He shouldn't go out of it, irrespective of the matter or case. But some scholars said no, he shouldn't restrict himself to a specific mazhab. He should be giving fatwa based on the mazhab that can solve his problem by then. So we should understand this. Number 4, The Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo is also saying that, for instance, a layman is stick to a specific mazhab. The point number 4 now is that, is it permissible for that layman or an ignorant person who doesn't learn things about Islam to leave that mazhab for another? Scholars also differ. Some said he can leave it for another, some said he cannot leave it. And the best is that he can leave it for another, or advisably, he shouldn't even stick himself to a specific mazhab. He should only go with mazhab that can best solve his problem at that moment. Point number 5. The Prophet, Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo, is telling us that nobody from among the imams of mazhab should be imitated if he goes contrary to the Quran and to the authentic ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nobody from among them should be imitated. Once their statement goes contrary to the Quran and Sunnah, please leave it for them. Even they themselves have stated this clearly in numerous assertions of theirs, that any statement of theirs you find contradicting the Quran and Sunnah, please leave it aside and go with the Quran and Sunnah. You can see this in the introduction part of Sifat Salat of Sheikh Nasiruddin Al-Albani and many other books. That is point number 5. Point number 6. We should also know, as students of knowledge, that someone's understanding shouldn't be termed as madhab. That is point number 6. Understanding of someone, for example, understanding of Sheikh Salih Uthaymin, for example, or understanding of Sheikh Ali Jum'ah or Ali Goma, some people call it, and shouldn't be termed as madhab. It's just understanding of his, and that is all. So it is very wrong, as people say it today, that some people are Albaniyun, some people are Yusufiyun, some people are Jabatiyun, and they term people to any person that owns that understanding. Wallahi, these people are not helping matters at all. Leave them. If a scholar is having an understanding, don't call his understanding mazhab. It's never done anywhere in the world. No. If Albani, for example, is having an understanding, then leave that understanding for him. And don't term anybody who follows that understanding Albani or you call them Albani you. No. We shouldn't do that. That is why Sheikh Uthman Fodiyo is telling us. Number 7. Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo is telling us that it is compulsory on every Muslim to affirm that all the imams of this mazhab were good people and they were pious people. Right from Al-Imam Abu Hanifa and Nu'man bin Thabit al-Hanafi, he was a very pious man. Up to Al-Imam Malik bin Anas al-Madini, Al-Imam Malik was a very pious man. Up to Al-Imam Shafi'i, Muhammad bin Idris al-Shafi'i, a very pious man. Up to Ahmad bin Muhammad bin Hanbal al-Shaybani, is also a pious man. You should know this. None of them was a wrongdoer, and none of them was a bad person. None of them. Understand this as a student, irrespective of whatever you may see, and from their assertions, from their statements, you should know that wallahi, they were good people, and they have better understanding of the religion of Islam, even though they are not infallible. That is point number 7, as Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo tells us. That, but he said in point number 8 that no Muslim should deny working with the assertion of these scholars as long as it is not contradicting authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ or a verse of the Quran. Once they have a view They think that this is how it should be done because they were pious people. They have better understanding of Islam, and that is why people imitate them. Don't contradict them without having any verse of the Quran that contradicts their statement or their assertion, or authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and that does that. Don't just say that they are human beings like us, so if you like, you can do whatsoever. No, it's wrong and to go contrary to them unless their assertion is contradicting the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then under point number 8 again, Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo said that and if, for instance, something comes up that you have to follow a mazhab of Imam Malik or the mazhab of Imam Malik, and maybe your people are not Malikiya, don't say that it's Dorura that is taking you to follow the mazhab of Imam Malik now. No. If you say that ignorantly, then you are saying that what Imam Malik did was haram. That is why you are following it now with Dorura. Because you can't do Dorura except something that is haram, but you are permitted to do it maybe to save your life or to save a situation. So don't say that. What is expected of a Muslim is to follow the Quran and Sunnah, follow all the mazahib, anyone that can best solve the problem by then, and follow that particular one. And never stick yourself to a specific mazhab as long as you are a scholar or student of knowledge that can search for knowledge anywhere it is. Point number 9. Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo is drawing our attention that the disagreement of scholars, whenever scholars disagree on a particular matter, maybe this one says that a particular thing is haram, and another one says that a particular thing is halal, then anybody who follows either of the sides, don't blame the person, as long as there are scholars who have upheld to this view before him. If a specific matter to a scholar is haram, but to another mazhab is halal, and then somebody is follow a mazhab which is contrary to your own, don't condemn him and do not say that he is doing something contrary to Islam. No, just go by your own understanding and follow the one that you think convinces you more to practice the religion of Islam. In fact, contradiction of the scholars, controversy among scholars shouldn't be termed as error, and any person who follows it shouldn't be termed as a bad person, unless the person follows a matter from a scholar that is shaz, an irregular matter that is not known to anybody except to a single scholar. It existed, but it was only known to a particular scholar, and that scholar contradicts all the remaining scholars. So if it is termed as shaz by scholars, then don't follow it by them. But ordinary contradiction or controversy among the scholars, then if you like, you follow this one. Any person who likes to follow the other one shouldn't be condemned or looked as a bad person. And then the point number 10, Sheikh Uthman bin Fodiyo says that any person who hates anybody who follows a mazhab that is contrary to his own, any person who hates this person, that person is also contrary to the Quran and Sunnah. Yes, it's contrary to the Quran and Sunnah because the understanding of these scholars is terming it as a wrong one or a bad understanding, which is very wrong in Islam. In the authentic hadith transmitted by Imam al-Bukhari, everybody knows that the Prophet ﷺ sent some people to Banu Qurayza, and he told them that la yusalliyanna ahadukum al-asra illa fi Bani Qurayza. None of you should perform Salat al-Asr unless you go to the place of Banu Qurayza. When they were going, Asr period was due. Some say that we should perform Salat al-Asr along the road. Some say no, the Prophet said we should go and perform Salat al-Asr in the dwellings of Banu Qurayza. Another party said no, the Prophet ﷺ is not asking us that even if the period of Salat al-Asr is due along the road, we shouldn't perform it unless we go to the place of Banu Qurayza. The second one say, no, that is what the Prophet is telling us. Now you can see they divided. And this is what we call disagreement or controversy among the scholars. It started during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And those who thought that they can perform Salatul Asr along the road performed it, and those who didn't see to that direction waited for them. So when they have finished their prayers, they started going together. They continue with their journey together. When they reached the place of Banu Qurayza, the second party that have not performed Salatul Asr performed theirs, and this one also waited. When they returned, the Prophet ﷺ did not blame any one of them, because all of them got their understandings from the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, which is authentic. This is the 10th point. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us anywhere we commit mistake, and anywhere we said rightly, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us abundantly. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika shalla la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. See you another time, inshallah, for another series, inshallah.